მოგესალმებით. ეხლა ჩვენ ნელ-ნელა დავიწყოთ მოწყობას თავი თემისთვის. თავი თემა იყო ალბათ ყველა დაწყებული სოსოს თეონას მოგას ეს პრეზენტაციიდან. უბრალოდ რაღაცას მოვყარეთ თავი და ალბათ საერთოდ სამი წლის თავზე ჩვენი ურთიერთობის გადაწყვეტეთ, რომ ამისთვის მიგეცა ცოტა ინტერაქტიული სახე. ეს იქნება პანელი, რომელიც არ გაგრძელდება დიდხანს, მაგრამ როგორც შესაძლოა შევიხარით, ეს იქნება ჩემი აზრით ერთ-ერთი ყველაზე საინტერესო შემადგენლობა, რაც კი შეიძლებოდა ყოფილიყო. შემადგენლობა შედგება თითქმის ყველა ინდუსტრიისგან, რომელიც ამ ყველაფერთან შეგებაში, რასაც LSG Solutions არავს. ეს არის საფინანსო სექტორი, წარმოდგენილი ბანკინგის სახით, ეს არის არქიტექტურის მიმართულება. ერთადერთი რაც მინდა სოსოს და გლობალს ნათქვამს დავამატო, ძალიან მნიშვნელოვანი თემა აღნიშნეს, რომელიც ეხებოდა მათ საერთაშორისო პარტნიორებს და საუბარია multi consulting group-ზე, რომელიც მართლა 1908 წელს არის დაარსებული. ეს არის უზარმაზარი კონგლომერატი. Konkrētāk, LSG Solutions, როგორც უკვე ითქვა, ბრიტანეთის ოფისთან, ლონდონის ოფისთან არის პარტნიორობა, რომლის მმართველი პარტნიორი ასევე შემოუერთდება ჩვენს ერთობას. მეგონი დანარჩენზე უკვე ნელ-ნელა შეიძლება თან პარალელურ რეჟიმში გავთავსოთ და უკვე წარმოვადგინოთ სტუმრები. ვიცი რა, როგორ რეაგირებენ პანელისტები, რაიმე არასწორად რომ არ იქნება რეგალიები მოხსენიებული, ამიტომ დავიწყებ პირველ რიგში, მინდა ვთქო სწორედ Multi Consult Group UK-ს მმართველ პარტნიორს, რომ შემოგვიერთდეს ჩვენთან. Mr. Please join us. English learners იქნება პანელი, English learners-ზე იქნება პანელი, ყველასთვის და შესაბამისად ესე გავაგრძელებთ. სოსო ბერიძე, კი ბატონო, რაღაცები დარჩა, იქნება რომელსაც სოსოსთან შევასწავლეთ ეს პანელზე და კიდევ ერთ ადგილას, რომელზეც ჩვენი პანელის ბოლოს ვისაუბრებთ. სოსოს აღდგენა არ სჭირდება გავზარდეთ ჩემო ბატონო. დაპირებულებიდან ჩვენთან ერთად არის მაქვს ძალიან ხშირი ურთიერთობა, მაგრამ აქვს ძალიან დიდი ძელი რეგალია. მაგრამ გამორჩეული, იმიტომ რომ ამ ძელ რეგალიაში იფარება თითქმის ბიზნესის 70% და რა იფარება კონკრეტულად ამ ინდუსტრიაში, ამას თავად გიორგი დარჩიაშვილი გვეტყვის, რომელიც თბილისის კორპორაციული დიალოგის დეპარტამენტის უფროსია, ოღონდ აქ შედის მსხვილიც, საშუალოც და ყველაფერი რაც შეიძლება იყოს ამოდგენილი. ძალიან მიხარია, რომ პანელის რეჟიმში მექნება საუბარი გურამ ახვლედიანთან. გურამი არის Georgian real estate-ის გენერალური დირექტორი, და განსაკუთრებულად ელის დღევანდელ პანელს და ვიცი, რომ ეს საუბარიც იქნება საინტერესო პასუხის რეჟიმში, მithumetes დაინახეს თუ არა მედია მაიტანს ამ ისი ყოფნა აქა. და კომპანია დეფანის დაფუძნებელს და ახლა შანაშიძეს So thank you so much for being with us. Ortsals გამოგაქვთ. დავჭირდა მე კიდე ის. ხო, მე დაჭირდება. So there was some sort of intro already happening about the company you represent here. At the same time, you followed everything you conduct with LSG Solutions, your partners, and you're doing business here in Georgia. Brief us about your company and about the current status of the partnership with LSG Solutions, and then I might follow with some other questions.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we were lucky to learn to know LSG Solutions just after they were born 3 years ago. and for the last 2.5 years, we have been doing projects together, which have been very much appreciated by us and a good success story in many aspects. Multiconsult is headquartered in Norway, and we've been working in the renewable energy sector for since 1908. So we have vast experience from developing hydropower and other renewable energies, and through that also been part of the whole development of Norway from a very simple and poor nation to a rich and successful nation today. Multiconsult is, partnerships are very important for us. I also believe very strongly in partnerships. Not only do we need complementary partners to fulfill the roles we do, but we also need partners in order to get new ideas to develop and that sort of things. And LSG is a partner for us that's been helping us on all those matters since we started working together. Hopefully Multiconsult is also able to contribute to LSG's development with our renewable experts that are working together with LSG staff on projects. And we've also been, for us it's so important to have professional partners that we can trust, and we have, because we are stock listed in Norway, we have very strong requirements to both health and safety, environment, and social issues in our projects, and ethical behavior and anti-corruption. And we, early on in the relationship with LSG, we trained their staff in order to ensure they would comply with our standards, and that's been a great success as well.
In this regard, while presenting your company, can we evaluate a sort of partnership what you have in regards of particular projects right now, and what this partnership is looking for in the nearest future? I mean, the potential project we might cover together within this partnership, but at the same time, you might share your experience and expertise with already implemented one of the projects together with LSG Solutions. So please feel free to share with us this information.
Yeah, so for the last 2.5 years, we've been working on the OB2 hydropower projects together. We have just started working on the Nenstra hydropower project together with LSG as well. And we are actively pursuing other projects in the renewable energy sector together, as well as in other sectors, particularly infrastructure and some particular sectors where we have expertise from Norway that we can contribute to here. I think the way we have been working together has been, we found a very commercially competitive way to work together. Blending our experts together with LSG staff have been a commercial success, I would say. We were able to provide a full package of services to the client to the most optimal price.
Thank you, Mr. Peters. I'll be back to you with some more questions later on. My next question goes to Soso Beridze, and I would like him to add a few complementaries and some sort of description of the draft of your thoughts of the standards which was presented by Tiona, which is officially already launched on your website. And you're talking, for me personally, as I mentioned in my intro, it's a continuation of our conversation which was on there. At the same time, LSG is trying to implement absolutely new standards which are going to be shared by the industry, and at the same time, first of all, publicly discussed, whether we meet it or not. So tell me your thoughts, companies, teams, decision, how you think we can aggressively, but at the same time, effectively implement these standards.
Thanks for the question, Georgi. Yes, we were thinking like since we established the company and started to implement some projects, that was one of the main challenges, to deal with the design teams, different design teams, and other stakeholders during the design stage. So basically, what is the problem is that all stakeholders have their own understanding of what has to be done on a particular design stage. And so there is no clear understanding between the parties what should be done. So we are trying, first of all, to bring these parties on the same page, and from our side, we are trying to bring international expertise, international standard, and somehow mix it with local requirements, so we can basically respond to local regulations and so on. So we are open to further discuss this standard. We have worked for several months to bring this, what we have done to this day, and of course this all of the people who are interested to see into more details this standard, it is on our webpage, and with the QR code you can go and see it. It is a quite extensive document, and it is also open to further discussion and development and improvement. So this is our vision about it, and we believe that it will improve the project efficiency a lot.
Okay. Does it mean that we might face some sort of public discussions initiated by LSG Solutions, just to push, as you mentioned, effectively the standards, because it's open, it's transparent, it's on web, but I think it's not because it's LSG is doing this, as you mentioned a few months ago. It's for the market, it's market requirement, that it's a demand of the century, of the new years upcoming. So tell me more about the follow-up for the standards.
Absolutely, yes. We are not concentrating to have some like LSG document that we will try to be happy that we have it, but rather we want to share it, and next step for sure will be to meet with more specific audience, exactly, and discuss it into more greater details, you know, and after that we'll like share our opinions, and we'll see. Hopefully it's gonna be well-established standard, and in nearest future, in coming years, all of the clients, all of the designers will be using it, and then we will see better results.
Very good, thank you. My next question goes to Guram Akhmadiani. Guram is General Director of Georgian Real Estate, one of the biggest company on the market. Great to have you back, with me in this format. Could you be so kind to update about your company status right now? Where do we stand? And at the same time, it would be much appreciated, Ram, if you will share with us the latest market developments. I'm talking about the requirements coming from markets. Where do you see potential partnership, not only with LSG Solutions, but with the other stakeholders presenting our today's event?
Sure. Thank you, Georgi, first of all. First of all, I want to thank LSG for organizing such a great event. I think it's really important that all the stakeholders in this industry get together, share ideas in order to basically sustainably grow this business. I think it's extremely important. Myself, I represent Georgia Real Estate, which is a holding company, which owns 100% shares of M Square Development. It's probably a name that most of you are more familiar with, so therefore, we've been on the market for past 15 years now. We've been one of the leading development companies on the stage. And in order to basically survive, grow in this business for so long, obviously you need funding. So that's why the bankers are sitting next to me. On the left side, yeah. So basically, even though there are great local banks, we had to essentially go outside and work with lots of international financial institutions, such as FMO, IFC, ADB, DG, And we've been able to essentially in the past 15 years raise up to 55 million USD in order to develop our projects. And on top of that, we've also issued 7 different bonds valued at 160 million USD in order to basically successfully complete our projects. The reason I'm saying all this, in order to be able to attract such finances, as you might imagine, there's a lot of due diligence that goes with it. That means that they check your company on everything. So that means that we had to adapt extremely quickly to basically international and European standards. So it's been a while that we've been basically implementing so-called IFC performance standards, and we've been operating our company and our management using those standards. So basically the standard encompasses everything from project management to design management to environmental and social aspects, cultural heritage, so on and so forth. Therefore, it's great that basically we are basically talking about these changes that basically need to happen. Basically, we were also able to be one of the first companies to basically, even though there was no regulation on the market, to basically introduce energy efficiency to our projects, to introduce accessibility portions to our projects, to introduce fire safety systems to our projects. And we're trying to always pave the way towards basically improving the industry to get it closer to international standards. If you don't have such standards in place, there's no way you can manage basically the portfolio that we currently have. So basically, unless you have procedures, standards, reporting, in such a way, there's no way you can manage that. We're currently working on basically 40 different buildings at the same time, almost 1 million square meters of gross buildable area that we're currently developing. And yeah, we just started the new project, by the way. That's in the park, so shameless plug on that, so check that out. Basically, there's no way we can do that. A very important aspect that I'm happy that Teona presented the design management as well as also presented the project management. I can basically proudly say that we've been implementing those standards, I would call them M-square standards. So basically, before we even go out to tender, and basically see a lot of familiar faces here, before we contact any architects, structural engineers, or MEP engineers, or facade engineers, we always have our own terms of reference. So what we like for them to actually bring to us, and basically what's the product that we're looking to develop. It is extremely important, and there's one of the challenges in the industry that you have. There's no one-stop shop. Maybe until now, LSG, but there's no one-stop shop that you have a company that does all the basic design for it. That does structural architecture. You got specialized companies that does each. So therefore, we have a extremely dedicated design management team who essentially coordinates all these 4 different aspects of design phase and basically puts it towards the same standard or M-square standard that we like. In addition to that, basically, we always try to evolve. So we always try to evolve, we always try to get better. And what we did, I think we discussed this a couple of years ago, we invited one of the leading companies, engineering companies from Austria, ILF, to basically check all our documentation, check our reporting standard, check our project management standard, and to basically give us the gaps of what we're doing versus what, let's say, the so-called international best practices are. And we basically have been trying to basically adapt and improve basically every year on that. So yeah, on top of that, some of the new developments which I basically welcome, so the initiatives that the government has put forth and the sort of permitting bodies have put forth, the so-called 41st fire safety standard, the new energy efficiency standard that's coming up, as well as the project management sort of checks that they're going to do on a quarterly basis. I think it's extremely important. I think we welcome it with open arms, and we are basically happy always to share our experiences, our challenges, because even though it wasn't required back then, we're still basically trying to do all this stuff anyways. So thank you to the government bodies for that. Yeah.
Thank you, Guram, as usual, for covering even more. I didn't want to ask so many questions. So
Anytime.
Yeah, and as was mentioned, another very important person for the industry and for everything maybe, whose knowledge, whose information, whose expertise going to be shared with us. Perspective and from the local point of view of one of the systemic banks in Georgia. Georgi Darcheshvili will share with us his point of view about the industry
Thank you.
itself. And Georgi, please, as Guram has mentioned, it was on my pre-last question to Irakli about the LSG itself as a company which unites all the services and all the possible things which was not, well, we could not imagine before. So on this perspective, from the last point about your relations with LSG Solutions, please go ahead.
Thanks, Gil. Hello, everyone. First of all, let me thank LSG for organizing this event. I think it's a great platform to actually gather all industry players together to exchange ideas and best practices which are available in the country as well as in worldwide. Regarding the construction, basically, as Guram rightly mentioned, it's critical for the finance institution to have this kind of companies in place, right? For us, it's critical to, before we enter to any project, it could be commercial, it could be residential, or any other infrastructural project, it's critical for us to check the numbers. We like numbers, right? We need to check the documentation, we need to check the bill of quantities, and we need to make sure that the documents and the amount costs that the company brings is in line with the current market prices. So in this regard, I believe that LSG is doing amazing work, and we are very happy to see these kind of companies coming into the market. With the same purpose, actually, back in 2016, where there was no other companies, such companies in place, TBC has established internal team, which is construction monitoring and risk prevention team. And the main purpose of this team was to check the initial documentation that the client or the project owner would bring. And after checking everything carefully, then we would enter into the financing. So, but beyond the first initial assessment, then what we would do is that we would make a regular checks on site, and we would make sure that the project is run and is completed in a timely manner, let me say this way, and there are no cost overruns, and you have to check, and obviously that the project is going in line with the initial architectural and constructional project. So this is extremely important for us. So once again, we are very happy and we welcome LSG and other players on the market to do this job actually. As
these internal teams still exist and they're covering, I mean, all your activities.
Yeah,
am I right?
Whilst most of the 99% of our existing projects are monitored through our existing team, now we see the trend.
It's in-house team.
Exactly, it's in-house team, but we are very happy to see companies like LSG coming onto the market, and we have already together partnered with LSG, and we have, I think, couple of really big projects where we have partnered, and we believe that this trend will continue, and we are happy to see this trend.
TBC is covering quite big portion of the industry. I'm talking about the lending, I'm talking about the financing, co-financing also, there are some projects. Could you brief us about the latest developments, how important this industry is for the bank portfolio?
I think construction has a very massive effect on the economy, right? Let me name residential real estate. I mean, for the last, let me say 18 months, we've seen up to 30% growth of the market. And obviously, when it comes to construction, the very good thing is that most of the construction material products are produced in Georgia. So if you take cement, rebar, and other major products, and this has a multiple effect on the economy. While the final product attracts international investors to come and invest in real estate, all the construction costs major costs that are actually associated with the projects are produced in Georgia. So I think it has a great impact on the economy, and we are having absolutely amazing numbers actually in terms of real estate. So
thank you, Georgi. Maybe distinguished audience might have some additional questions to you. Pardon, what? Yeah, correct. We speak English. Last 2 days we're trying to practice each other, in regards of Q&A, and maybe we'll work out something interesting additional for you. As a last speaker, on the panel, Irakli represents architect company as a managing partner. At the same time, he personally is quite all known to this particular audience and to our business community. I'm going directly to what Mr. Berizek has presented. After Tirana, public new standards, how well and how much they are required. I'm following the trends mentioned by Mr. Aplodiani. I'm following all the requirements done through the market before and after. Your last 20, maybe even more years, 23 years presenting on the market. Thank you for this comment. And tell me, is it still on track and it's required and we should push it all together? Or we're talking something about which is LSG Solutions issue so far? Please go ahead.
As a project manager.
Project manager, yeah.
No, first of all, thank you for the invitation for the LSG team, because it's a great event. And I really was happy to see the presentation, because even I had a smile on my face, because when we started, actually this chart, this is from where we start. And already 23 years, was our dream, along with other dreams. We have other dreams as well. To have this kind of international knowledge to the field. Because I can say that we are not ideal, but we still keep learning, because this is what we should do. And what was presented is actually really good, and what it does, it makes one game rules for everyone, which means that for every single architect will know what they should do, what kind of information they should deliver, what's the quality of the material they should deliver. And from another hand, from a client standpoint, they can make a comparison of the architects based on their architectural philosophies or work, and because they will know that quality of the products they will deliver, it will be the same. So for construction companies, it's actually also make life easier, because when they have in their hands this kind of quality products, it's easy for construction. So it means that it's a win-win situation for everyone. Right now, if I can say, I don't want to offend anyone, even clients, my clients especially, or architects, we have a really poor situation on the market, because we have no rules and standards. Even students can design in any field of design, and which means that not knowing what you should deliver, what kind of product and quality, which reflects also on the budget they are proposing. And most of the time, unfortunately, clients will go with the initial low budget, and at the end of the day, they will pay more and more on construction. So this is a situation right now. And so if I say architects, who we are actually like a storytellers. We are story creators for the space, big, small, urban, interior. We just creating stories and then build architecture on top of it. And later on, people are coming, live, work, joy within those spaces. Which means that quality of our stories really matters in every level, like on a creation stage, on a design stage, and on a construction. So, as I mentioned earlier, that it's a win-win situation for everyone, for clients, for project management team, for design teams, for construction teams, and more importantly, that for people who actually coming and using this end product.
Could imagine everything. But welcoming Mr. Irakli Sharachidzé to the storytelling club, it's my pleasure. Welcome, sir. So, well, it's not a big competition here, so we need you here as well. But
no, we need the competition. Actually, this is what this is doing. It's actually we need a competition because in the end of the day, if we do the quality work, everyone do the quality design part, including with the project management team, which rise in the construction quality. At the end of the day, we have quality construction and building. So this
my next question to you is the following: taking into consideration your, professional coverage as well. You're considered within the business community as a very practical man. Tell me about the implementation of all those activities which were presented here. I mean, we both, and I know that majority, if not all of us presenting here, we don't want it to remain only on web of LSG Solutions. We need them to be. So, what should be the next steps? Of the community to make it happen and to be shared.
I think the next steps should be that all of the members of this sector should agree on this game plan, because this is not something which is new. It's a really international standard which should be implemented as a law. It's not about LSG, not about Defani or TBC or anyone else. It's about it should be the basic rules as a law. When will become as a law, then the game will be really easy.
It's can you consider this as a game changer proposal? For the market. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, guys. While Mr. Sharachidzé will join storytelling and the Q&A professional industry, I should stop myself because I might follow questions till the end of our evening. And there's small but opportunity for you. If you have any questions to distinguished panelists, please feel free to raise a hand and I will help you with that. If not, like in maximum 5 minutes, we'll finish our panel and we'll move to informal part of our event. Goga, you? No? You. Anything else? Yeah.
Everything clear.
Everything is clear. We just need these standards.
Yeah.
Tell me your final word on this. In regards to these standards, how important they are for the market. And if we are doing it by some Soviet, so am I right about the Soviet standards? SNPs, yeah, Guram, yeah, SNPs happening here, which might be useful for that period. I don't know, maybe, but how important these are, and how important is to have transparent rules of the game. What was said by Mr. Sharachidzé?
Well, in many of the places where multi-consult work, there is no established standards for in relation to the hydropower plants and dams that we are part of, including dam safety regulations and other structural regulations. But we try to bring with us the best standards from around the world, from Norway, from the UK, and from elsewhere to give a mix of good standards. But yeah.
How often the standards? You're not, if you have this knowledge and information, how often they're updated in some countries, which you are covering, or they are more or less permanent?
No, well, they are always there's always revisions to them.
Revisions, yeah.
Yeah, they're never static, but of course there can be years without any changes. But then there's reasons to change them. Of course, we live in a world that changes all the time, and there's climate change and things that makes you need to do things differently, and you need to adapt the standards to.
Thank you. Last call for questions, if any. Okay, if not, LSG Solutions, happy birthday, and thank you for this evening, and thank you dear panelists, and good luck to you. Thank you.